So we have to save Chicago. It's very important. And you can't have a governor getting up and saying it's good when 11 people were shot over a weekend.
He's right.
What?
The Insurrection Act, under what conditions or terms would you?
Well, I'd do it if it was necessary. So far, it hasn't been necessary. But we have an Insurrection Act.
After January 6th, would it not be fucking poetic if Trump invoked the Insurrection Act?
Courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that. I mean, I want to make sure that people aren't killed. We have to make sure that our cities are safe. And it's turning out.
Do it. I would do it.
We started with D.C.
I would instantly do it. You should have already done it.
People wouldn't go to restaurants. The restaurants were closing. We were losing a lot of restaurants, as you all know. And now restaurants are opening.
Now you see the real reason why I want to do it.
And I went 2 weeks ago, and it was great. I'm going to go again. I felt very safe, very safe. Forgetting about guards and Secret Service, and I would have gone. It would have been very safe. D.C. is a great, and look at the cleanliness of D.C. Look at how it's clean. You don't have tents all over the place. We had parks where you couldn't
He's
even
trying to
walk
think of a way to
through
say
the park.
it.
You had people from tents, and they were violent people. Some of these people were violent people.
Yeah, of course
we
they
have
are.
a great, safe capital again. And if you look at it in 6 months from now, it'll be the most beautiful anywhere in the world.
Wow.
It's being
That's pretty
cleaned.
good.
The graffiti's all gone now.
Wow.
The tents are all gone. We have a capital that you can be proud of, but it'll only get better with time.
Mr. President,
Tomorrow is October 7th, the 2-year anniversary of the original Israeli attack. Do you expect a Gaza deal tomorrow, or any sort of hostage deal tomorrow?
I think we're going to have a deal. It's a hard thing for me to say that when for years and years they've been trying to have a deal with Gaza, but
you can't figure shit
literally
out.
Literally for centuries, okay, if you really think about it.
Can't stop bombing
But
each other.
we're going to have a Gaza deal, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
And what are you hearing from Dr. Witkoff about the talks?
Well, I'm the one that got the hostages back. Remember that, you know? I'm the one that.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, I got them back.
Israeli citizens are celebrating what you've accomplished in this deal.
Israeli
Should
citizens.
it come through, there will be a lot of celebration on the streets of Israel. The hostages' families, have they been in contact with you with regard to this?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Could happen.
They're so happy about it. It's like they can't breathe. One said, "I can't breathe." You know, it's very sad because you have hostages and you have people that are no longer living. But the parents, and I've said this to you many times, the parents want the bodies of their boy back, the bodies of their loved one.
Of course.
Back. In most cases, they're young men, and they're dead. And there's probably 32 or so, about that number. Nobody knows exactly what the number is.
That's a lot.
They want that body back as much as if their son were alive. I've been with them. You know, many have come to the White House, to the Oval Office. I've been with many of the people that I got released. We have a fantastic group working on it. Steve Witkoff has been amazing. Jared, I have Jared.
Hopefully they can end that
Jared
fucking war, man.
Jared's a very, you don't find anybody more capable.
Awful.
And we have
he helped them buy
A+
EA,
team working on
Saudi
it.
Arabia.
I think we've made tremendous progress. And yeah, the people of Israel wanted it to happen. But the people related to hostages, I mean, you see in Israel tens of thousands of people. They really want the hostages back, and they really want things to end. And I think Hamas now has been, all I can say is they've been fine. They've been fine. I hope it's going to continue that way. I think it will. I really think we're going to have a deal. We have a really good chance of making a deal.
What do you mean by that?
And it'll be a lasting
They've been
deal.
fine.
We want to have peace. This is beyond Gaza. Gaza
What does that
a big
mean?
Deal, but this is really peace in the Middle East. And the amazing thing is we have every Arab country, every Muslim country. We have every country surrounding. They all want. I spoke with President Erdogan of Turkey. He's fantastic. He's been pushing very hard. He's a very powerful guy.
Didn't he put the guy running against him in jail?
He's been pushing very, very hard to get this deal done. And
didn't he do that? It was like a big
Hamas
protest.
has a lot of respect for him. They have a lot of respect for Qatar. They have a lot of respect for UAE and Saudi Arabia. We have everybody is on our side to get this deal done. There's never been anything like it. Nobody's ever seen it. There's
If
always
Trump
been like
ends this, it's going to be a huge
80% of them
W.
don't want something done. I think
I'll be so
virtually
happy if it
we had
happens.
a very strong signal, as you know, from Iran. They'd like to see this done.
Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Yes.
Mr. President,
Governor Abbott offered up the Texas National Guard to you. Have you had any other conversations with other red state governors about?
They're willing to offer. Every one of them is willing to offer whatever we need.
Damn.
We thank Governor Abbott of Texas. Every one of the red state, as you call them, red state governors is willing to give whatever we need because they want our agents protected. You know, these ICE agents have a tough job. They have to go in and get, in many cases, stone cold criminals, hardened criminals,
or
long-time criminals.
Also bad.
And every essentially Republican governor has offered up whatever we need. And some Democratic governors also. Daniel?
Yeah, Mr. President, thank you. A quick question on the subject of the order. The Biden administration, previously speaking, they shut down Alaska for business. You reversed that. You reversed it on day one. You opened it up.
They're making
all the critical minerals.
Yeah.
This mission of yours, and Secretary Burgum, Secretary White, to
equally dangerous, feral Karens.
Yeah. Critical minerals.
They're running wild.
Well, it's necessary,
Can you just talk
right?
about how important that is over the next 4 years, sir?
Well, it's very necessary. You know, in the past, we were able to go to other countries, buy whatever
People are
we want,
worried
but all
about
of a
Israel
sudden,
continuing
if
it.
those countries are hostile,
Like dropping
and by the
bombs
way, China
anyway.
hasn't been. We've made deals with China. You know, they approved
That's
the
what I've been
TikTok
hearing a
deal.
lot.
Everyone said you'd never get the TikTok deal approved. They approved it, and we have great people buying it. Big, strong American companies are buying it. The most prestigious companies there are, actually, and they're going to make sure everything's good. But President Xi was great. He approved it. So I'm not saying hostile, but it's good to have our own minerals. And, we created tremendous value by creating a road. We build a road that only we can do because we have the rights to do it, number one, and we have the power to do it. And so we build a road that's over 200 miles long through a very beautiful area of the world. Actually, it's incredible. When you look at it, it's incredible. But a rough area from the standpoint of building. So we get a road done. And with that, we unleash billions and billions of dollars of wealth. It's pretty amazing when you think
That's
of it.
a lot.
And it's wealth that we need if
Wow.
we're going to be the number one country. You know, we're number one now with AI. You probably
Can't believe the guy's
read.
80 years old.
We're beating everybody with AI at levels that nobody ever thought even possible.
This is peak performance on
McDonald's. And one of the
McDonald's.
reasons we are is because of energy.
McDonald's,
our
Coke,
grid
and
is
candy.
old and tired, like most grids are. They get old with
That's
time.
right.
I mean, the older you are, the older the grid gets, right? But I've allowed the people building AI or other plants, other types of plants, but AI in particular, because they need so much electricity, I've allowed them to build their own power. And it's been amazing. They're building massive plants, and with the plant, they're building their own electricity. They've become a utility in a sense. I said, maybe you'll do better with the utility than you do with the AI. I don't know. But we're letting them build their own electricity. So
if you go to the White House, you have to have McDonald's with
them. We
them?
don't have to worry about anything. And
There's
they're
no
going to
way
build
they would do that.
it in such a way that if they have excess capacity, they're going to put it back into the grid. It's pretty amazing. So when they build, we're giving them permits to build their own electric power plants.
I would try to get Trump to drink Dr.
when
Pepper.
You see what they're doing. And because of that and other things that we're doing,
Can you imagine that?
We're leading every country. Nobody's even close to us with AI. And AI seems to be the big thing. I don't know. I can't tell you that. There are a lot of people building, and a lot of people have high stock prices.
Nobody
because
knows.
of AI. So a lot of people think it's
Let's
great
talk about
stuff.
NVIDIA.
And I think it's great stuff.
AMD
I look at
today.
It's amazing what it can do. In terms of medical costs, in terms of knowledge, it's basically information, and information at a level that nobody thought possible before. So we'll see. But they're building plants where you saw the one overlay that I did where, in this case it's Meta, one of their plants is essentially almost the size of Manhattan.
What the fuck?
And that's a building, it's a building that covers Manhattan.
Wait, what?
So it's big stuff. And nobody's even close to us. We're leading AI by so much.
Mr. President,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Since the start of your administration, we've seen a lot more Americans wanting to join ICE. And as we're seeing more...
Of course people want to join ICE. You're giving them a bunch of money. Duh.
Who are trying to do their jobs, but
Yeah.
What do you mean?
1,000% increase in attacks.
I love your questions, I like you. So who are you with?
I'm with NTD.
Very
I was
good.
the one who got mugged.
You were the one, that's what I thought. You got mugged. You're not getting mugged anymore.
Not anymore.
She was really, you're lucky to be with us with that deal that happened. I know all about that. Not anymore, though. You feel a different world out there, right?
Totally. You're safe with the baby nowadays.
Oh, good. Well, you're safe now. Nobody's going to be hurting you in any way.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you very
Wow.
much.
President, on the Supreme Court today?
The glaze.
So, the bottom line on your question, we're just going to make things real safe. We're going to have a country
That's
that
the
you can
bottom
be
line.
proud of, not a country that
Okay.
you read about every day where somebody gets mugged from behind or hit over the head with a baseball bat. Those people aren't with us any longer. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. On today's call,
He just gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Are you considering lowering tariffs after the call?
Well, I had a great talk with the president of Brazil, who's a good man. I met him actually at the United Nations. I was going up to make a speech, and I didn't have a teleprompter. I was walking up to my teleprompter. I said, I don't have a teleprompter. But just before that, I met with President Lula, and I found him to be very good. I mean, we had a very good talk for about, 2 minutes. And then I went up to make a speech, and I was surprised to see. How would you like that one, Doug? I've got every leader in the world sitting out there.
This is how he reminds me of my dad.
Isn't on. You know why, Daniel? Because
Totally.
it was a rigged deal. But fortunately,
Literally.
I made a better speech than I would have if
What
I
the fuck
read
is
it off a
this?
teleprompter, which is pretty easy to do. So it was quite a day. That was a big day. But we met and we liked each other. And, we had a great conversation.
yeah.
We'll start doing business.
And are you considering traveling to Brazil for COP30?
At some point, I would, and he's going to come here. We talked about that.
And a follow-up question on Israel. Israel government has been arresting and deporting activists that were traveling to Gaza. Today, Greta Thunberg, for instance, also.
Well, she's just a troublemaker, I mean, she's no longer into the environment now. She's into this. She's a troublemaker. She has an anger management problem. I think she should see a doctor. She needs anger. If you ever watch her, she's a young person. She's so angry. She's so crazy. Now you can have her. She's just a troublemaker. Yeah, please.
The Supreme Court is back in its term today.
Yeah,
Say
kind
it.
of.
The Supreme Court is back in session.
Yeah.
They rejected today an appeal by Ghislaine Maxwell to overturn her conviction. That means her only chance at getting out of prison is a pardon from you.
Ooh, from
Is that
Epstein
something you're
case.
Who are we talking about?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I haven't heard the name in so long. I can say this, that I'd have to take a look at it. I would have to take a look. Did they reject that?
She wanted to appeal her conviction.
And what happened?
They said that they were not going to hear her appeal.
I see. Well, I'll take a look at it. I will speak to the DOJ.
Okay,
I wouldn't
great.
consider it or not consider it. I don't know anything about it. But I'll speak.
Doesn't know
I will
anything.
speak to the
Why would she
DOJ.
be
Right.
a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who
Who?
have asked me for pardons.
Well, who's that?
I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly. Steve?
Have you made a decision on whether to supply Tomahawk missiles?
I didn't
to
know he
Ukraine
actually
or
asked
sell them
Trump
to
for a
NATO,
pardon.
Let them sell them to Ukraine.
Yeah, I've sort of made a decision, pretty
you
much.
share it with us,
If you consider, I think I want to find out what they're doing with them.
Yes.
Where are they sending them? I guess I'd have to ask that question.
Why do you call him Puff Daddy? That's what he used to call himself
that
in like the
war
90s.
should never have started. Would have never started. Such bad judgment was used there. I think on both sides, by the way. But nobody looks good with the war with Russia and Ukraine. Nobody. That's been a horrible. This week they lost over 7,000 soldiers between the two of them.
And those
This is every week they're losing 7,000, 8,000, 5,000.
A pardon for Diddy would be a slippery slope. He's not getting pardoned. Diddy isn't getting pardoned.
No, I would ask.
It's funny, but it's not going to happen.
I'm not looking to see escalation.
Yes. And tomorrow you're meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister. What's on the agenda for that?
Well, I guess he's going to ask about tariffs because a lot of companies from Canada are moving into the United States.
Yeah.
Everybody's moving back into the U.S. and he's probably going to be asking about tariffs. They're losing a lot of companies in Canada. They're coming into They left here. They left here 20 years ago when presidents that sat right at this desk weren't doing their job properly. They were probably good politicians, but they weren't good at business, and they allowed these companies to leave. And all they had to do is do what I'm doing right now. And, I'm not saying it's the easiest thing to do, but it is. It's effective. We're a rich country again. We're a powerful country because, I've ended 7 wars. At least half of them was because of my ability at trade and because of tariffs. If I didn't have tariffs to throw around a little bit, you would have at least 4 wars raging right now with thousands of people a day being killed that aren't happening. We've settled. We settled 7. We're getting close to settling 8. That would be a big one.
Settling 7 wars.
That's something that could happen.
That's pretty good.
So I think he's coming probably to talk about tariffs because a lot of companies are leaving Canada to come into the U.S.
Who's more Trump?
And they're
more
leaving Mexico.
Trump or you?
And by the way, they're leaving China.
That's a tough one.
They're leaving all over the world to come into
really
the
tough
U.S.
One.
Nobody's actually seen anything like it.
Would you shift your position on tariffs in response to whatever you
Well, I
said
mean,
tomorrow?
look,
He's not
my
gonna rule
position
anything
stood
out.
Everybody said I'm right. They find
Everybody
billions
said I'm
of
right.
dollars that they didn't even know they had.
All right.
Recently, they said they found
That's
billions
crazy.
of dollars, and they couldn't understand. I said, check the tariff
That's
shelf.
what I say all the time.
And they come in the next hour and they said, sir, you're right. It was from the tariffs.
Yep.
We're a really rich country again. But more
What a
importantly,
buffoon.
maybe influence.
I guess I'm a buffoon
If I didn't have the
too.
power of tariffs, you would have at least 4 of the 7 wars raging.
That's a lot of
I
wars.
use tariffs to stop wars. If you look at India and Pakistan, they were ready to go at it.
Pakistan
7
wanted
planes were
Trump to
shot
get a
down. They
Nobel
were
Peace
ready to go
Prize.
at it. And
India
then
said he
nuclear
didn't
powers.
fucking do anything.
And I don't want to say exactly what I said, but what I said was very effective. They stopped. And that was based on tariffs. It was based on trade. Tariffs are very important for the United States. We are a peacekeeper because of tariffs. Not only do we make hundreds of billions of dollars, but we're a peacekeeper because of tariffs.
Mr. President.
On the shutdown, Mr. President, the shutdown that occurred during your first term lasted 35 days. How long do you
Ooh, the
expect
government shutdown.
to go?
Well, you don't know. Look, I can say this, that it would have not happened except for the Democrats. The
second.
Democrats are very foolish. They've lost their way. And we have a new thing now when you look at, it's called crime. It's called absolute, as Biden would say, well, I won't say what he would have said. Remember when he said, it's a 3-letter word, no. Remember that one? Everybody's saying, what was that all about? He probably meant exclamation point or something after the word. But this is a 5-letter word, crime, C-R-I-M-E. And we want to put it out and are putting it out, and they don't. They don't seem to care about it, but they do care. I believe that Pritzker and this mayor of Chicago that like to say about they don't have it under control. Not only is it not under control, it's the opposite. And I believe they're afraid. They're scared for their lives. I believe that the Portland people are scared. You look at what's happened with Portland over the years. It's a burning hellhole. And then you have a judge that lost her way, that tries to pretend that like there's no problem. Actually, she's not even saying that. There's a huge problem in Portland. I'll tell you what the problem is. Crime. Okay, crime. There's a huge problem in Chicago. It's called crime. And we want to put out the crime, and they want to inflame the crime. And why they want to, I don't know. But it could be that Pritzker is scared for his life.
Oh, that's fatty, huh?
Yeah.
You place that judge on the UN. Do you have an update on the investigation into what happened to you at the UN last month? And also, what's your message to Americans?
Yeah, that's fatty.
about
I thought
your
so.
and your family's safety as you're very out in public attending
Yeah, I
meetings,
am out there.
backing
There's no
these
question about it. Well, at the UN, we had a problem with the teleprompter. We had another problem that nobody has actually talked about.
Ooh, what is
it?
it?
The people in the room didn't hear my speech. Did you know that? The people in the
What?
room, they didn't have any loudspeakers, and they didn't hear my speech. And I thought I made a really good speech. I mean, considering I didn't have.
So
the
he
use
thinks
of
they didn't hear it
teleprompter,
because they
which is
didn't clap.
unusual. But I made a speech. I could have walked off the stage. I guess most people, Doug, I think most people would have just said, we'll see you in about a half an hour, right? But, they obviously turned off I think they turned off the teleprompter, but there was a reason that it didn't work.
Do you
I
guys
actually
think
know
the
the
UN
reason.
did
They
that? Turned
didn't let
off
the
Trump's
person
teleprompter?
into the room.
What do y'all think?
Okay, which is essentially the same thing. So I made a speech. It turned out to be a very good speech. Got good reviews.
Oh, wow.
I went out
Great
to
reviews.
the audience after the speech. I saw my wife. I said, how good was that speech? Was that unbelievable or what?
Was it great?
She said, I didn't hear a word you said. I said, what do you mean? She was sitting in the front. I said, what do you mean? She said, you couldn't hear anything that you said. The speakers were turned on.
They turned off the fucking...
So I think that's pretty bad stuff, right? Especially since we support most of the United Nations.
Oh, God.
And yet I still want to keep it in New York. Because I think the United Nations has tremendous potential. if properly run, the United States has tremendous potential. But think of this. I settled 7 wars. I never spoke to the United Nations about it. Not one of them.
Is he going to talk about how they have potential?
You look at, and those
and
were
then
wars
now how
that were
they're
raging
useful?
a long time, and in many cases. And I settled 7. I never heard from the United. They didn't help me. They should be able to settle the wars. I shouldn't have to be settling the wars. Yeah, please.
They did. I think they did. I do. Yeah. I believe that they sabotaged him to make him look bad. I do.
Well, I wouldn't mind if they did. If they want to, they'd let me know.
I'm a conspiracy Andy now.
But, guitar has been very, very helpful to us in this process. And I think you'll find that. I think maybe the most influential, very influential, very strong. With
it didn't work.
Hamas, they're very strong. And Turkey's likewise been helpful. I mean, honestly, UAE, Saudi Arabia, everybody's been helpful. I just spoke today with the King of Jordan, and he's been terrific too.
Michael Jordan?
I can't think of any country that's been negative about this. This is why it should happen. I mean, everybody wants it to happen. And usually when everybody, including, I think, Hamas
wants it to happen.
And when they want it to happen, it's going to happen.
Maybe. I don't know about
that. James Comey is being arraigned on Wednesday, obviously after his indictment. Are you worried that your own statements calling for his prosecution could help him actually in his defense of this case?
No, I think he's a crooked guy. He's a dirty cop. Comey, I think he's a dirty cop. He's recognized by many people to be a dirty cop and dishonest guy. So all I have to do is, I have nothing to do with the case. I just say,
but you call on CatDany to prosecute him.
No, I don't call anybody. You know what? I'm allowed to do that if I wanted to do that. But Comey's a crooked guy. He has been for years. And he got caught. Look, he lied. This is just a simple case. He totally lied. And then he confirmed the lie on, I guess, numerous occasions, or at least one occasion. He confirmed the lie. He said, that's what I said, and I stand by it. And, the guy, and he didn't say, to the best of my knowledge. He didn't say, well, I don't remember. He made a very definitive statement and a very important statement concerning him. And he got caught in an outright lie. And that's why a group of people, it wasn't me that voted, they voted to indict him. But he's a crooked guy, in my opinion, and we'll find out. The court's going to determine that in a little while, I guess, yeah.
President, do you expect to announce farm relief this week?
Yeah, I'm going to do some farm stuff this weekend.
I'm going to do some farm stuff.
Yesterday, celebrating
it was unbelievable.
250th. Can you talk about that? And as we get closer to America's 250th, you've initiated a prayer initiative as well.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
prayer
both
initiative?
Of those events and why
what?
They're so important, particularly the prayer initiative going forward to the.
Well, we have, and we're dealing, as you know, with all of the different, and not just evangelicals, Christians. We're dealing with lots of different faiths, religions. And I've felt for a long time that, if a country doesn't have religion, doesn't have faith, doesn't have God, it's going to be very hard to be a good country.
Wow.
There's no reason to be good.
Damn.
I want to be good because you want to prove to God that you're good, so you go to that next step, right? So that's very important to me. I think it's really very important.
That's a lot to say.
Yesterday was amazing. We went out. We went to.
Wasn't expecting that. What are we targeting to say?
Base, largest
I
in the
agree
world,
with them, actually.
And I
think that's true.
Incredible. The level of I don't want to use the word weapons, but they are weapons. Is the technology on these planes, on the carriers, on all of the different things that we saw. They gave us missile displays. They did the whole. I don't think they've ever done anything like it, but it was really impressive. And the talent of the pilots, where they can land. The aircraft carriers look massive, but when you put them in the middle of like the Atlantic, or in this case, pretty far off the coast of Virginia, and it's sitting in a big ocean, and it was pretty calm yesterday, but it's still a little bit testy, right?
Reddit atheists
and
in
shambles. These guys land right on a thing and come to a sudden screeching halt, and they're really something. They were taking off yesterday.
Doesn't mean it should be the law.
Yes, sir. And then you see them, and you see them just get ripped back into the seat because the G-forces are so great. And actually, if you're not in great shape, because they were doing maneuvers that were incredible yesterday, and the admirals were explaining
you should get a gaming
if
chair
you're not in really good shape
instead of this one, like a Herman Miller.
You don't make it because you pass out.
With the Razor gaming chairs.
And women, I met some women pilots that it's incredible what they're able to do. So we saw
That'd be
something
cool.
that was great, and you saw the spirit, because we had for a couple of thousand, I think they had probably 22,000, largely sailors, all dressed in the most beautiful white. There wasn't a spot on any of those uniforms. I looked at them, it was just a wave of white, and it was a great crowd and great reception. So, getting back to a very important question that was asked, when you go back a year ago, people weren't joining
I forgot what the
armed
question
forces.
even
They
was.
weren't joining the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Coast Guard, Air Force. If you look at, any of them, they weren't joining.
IKEA
Space
chair?
Force.
Yeah. So did he.
And now we're setting records recruitment, and that goes for the police and fire. Now they want to be policemen, they want to be firemen. And firemen, people don't mention them, but they're incredible. I know so many of them, they're brave as hell. I wouldn't want to do it, tell you. But they weren't able to recruit. The police weren't able to recruit. And the military
Well, why would
wasn't
somebody want to be a
able
police
recruit. We were
officer?
Really
Everybody
awful.
hates the police.
And I got elected, and it really started
The government
on
didn't
November
support
5th.
them
I got
either.
elected, and somehow the country developed a spirit. Financially, yes, but also with the military. And now we have record levels of people wanting to be in. Every force is filled. We have waiting lists to get into the Marines, to the Army, to the Navy, to the Air Force. We have Coast Guard. We have waiting lists to get in. It's amazing, actually, what's happened. We have a country it was a dead country, and I say it all the time. We had a dead country 1 year ago. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And it's nice to see you. I've watched you for years on television, so it's nice to meet you. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Let's go. Thanks, guys.
Great.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's head out.
Okay,
Thank
let me
you,
turn this
guys.
down. That was all right, decent, not something super crazy, but it was okay. And Nuke. I mean, that was like decent answers. I mean, he just went over some other random stuff, nothing too crazy. Just told him to get the fuck out. That was about it.